So I will say what I'm about to say with no apologies whatsoever. Jesse Waters is one of my least favorite people on TV, and that's really saying something. But anytime I hear Jesse Waters speak, I know my hair is about to get blown back from his stupidity. And yes, I still do have some hair under this bandana. Thanks, Hulk Hogan, for ruining the bandana for everybody else. But when Jesse Waters speaks, I know I'm going to cringe, and I know I'm going to hear a bunch of right-wing propaganda. If I made a Mount Rushmore of the worst talking heads the right wing has ever produced, I would have to put it Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson, Jesse Waters. Now, I know some of you are saying, where's Alex Jones? He doesn't even belong anywhere at all. So forget that guy. But if I was making a Mount Rushmore of right-wing propaganda, it would be those four. And anytime Jesse Waters is talking, I know it's going to be ridiculous. His own mom's even disappointed in him, by the way. But I don't think he's actually as stupid as he comes off in this next clip. I think he just knows his audience, works his crowd like a pro wrestling villain. But nonetheless, there are people who are going to hear garbage like this and think that it's true. Take a look.
I don't see why any man would vote Democrat. It's not the party of virtue, security. It's not the party of strength. It's definitely not the party of family. And to be a man and then vote for a woman just because she's a woman is either childish, that person has mommy issues, or they're just trying to be accepted by other women. And I heard the scientists say the other day that when a man votes for a woman, he actually transitions into a woman.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, that's what the science says.
Science says that.
Now, if that was a Saturday Night Live skit, it'd be really funny. If that was a promo on a WWE program, that would be pretty funny. But there are people that tunes in every day to Fox News, and they take what Jesse Waters says seriously, and he's actually sitting there and has the gall on his face to say that we have mommy issues because we're voting for Vice President Kamala Harris and we transition from a man into a woman. Do you realize how insulting that is to everyone involved? But I'm going to tell you exactly why I'm voting for Vice President Kamala Harris, and it has not got nothing to do with me having mommy issues, okay? That's not it. The reason why I'm voting for Vice President Kamala Harris is because I couldn't look my daughter in the face otherwise. There's no way that I would be able to look my daughter in the face and say, guess what? I voted for a guy who was found liable for sexual abuse, and yes, the judge did clarify that it was rape, and yes, he did defame that victim later, but I voted for him anyway. I couldn't look my daughter in the face and say, I voted for a man who brags about taking your reproductive rights away from you. That's why I do it. I couldn't look at my black friends and say, hey, I'm okay with all this racism they're just saying right out loud. I have no problem with it. I'm going to go ahead. That's not a deal breaker for me. I'm going to go ahead and vote for it anyway. There's no way that I could look my gay and trans friends in the face and say, yeah, I'm perfectly okay with the bigotry they throw out there every day. That's not a deal breaker to me. That is why that I won't be voting Republican for the foreseeable future, because the Republican Party got infiltrated by MAGA and they brought hate and cruelty to the table, and they want to create a country in Donald Trump's image and only his image, and I want nothing to do with that. So as a man, I can't look my daughter in the face, and I can't look any of my friends in the face who they have stripped rights away from and intend to do so. I can't stand there and say to my friends, none of those things were deal breakers for me. I have to stand up for everybody. That's why I'm voting for Vice President Kamala Harris. It's not about Democrat versus Republican. It's not about left versus right. It's got nothing to do with that for me. I'm not over here going, well, there's good people on both sides. That quote right there holds no water, okay? Because if you got good people over here fighting for democracy, and you got good people over here fighting for women's rights and human rights, and you got people over here fighting for everyone to have a fighting chance in this world, and over here you've got someone that's backing a rapist and backing a racist and backing someone who wants to strip away rights from everybody, that's not a both sides argument, and that is a major deal breaker for me. So that's why that I'm not going to be voting for Donald Trump. And I don't see how that a real man, if you want to go there, Jesse Waters, I don't see how a real man could vote for Trump, especially one that goes to work every day and comes home covered in coal dust from the top of his head to the tips of his shoes. I can't understand the ones that goes out there and busts their balls in a factory, working their ass off for a little of nothing and scraping to get by. I can't see why in the world that they would look to a billionaire that's never had a callus on his hands, never had sweat on his brow, never had dirt on his collar, wouldn't wipe his nose on your Sunday best, wouldn't let you park your truck at Mar-a-Lago. I can't understand why those people gets behind that. I can't understand why they get behind little pipsqueaks like Jesse Waters, who wants to sit there and give them their WWE rhetoric with no substance whatsoever. The only thing that Donald Trump and Jesse Waters has ever done is just fired these people up and got their hate just flowing out their ass, and it's not accomplished nothing, and it's not accomplished nothing for them. Donald Trump did not make their lives better in no way. Watching Fox News sure as hell ain't going to make your life better. It's just going to kill a bunch of brain cells. And so how can a man vote for Kamala Harris? Because we're men, and because we realize that we have to stand up for everybody. And real men stands up for everybody, and not just people that looks and sounds exactly like them. A real man would not want to set and strip away rights from women. A real man would not want to back a man who talks to women the way that Donald Trump does. And to everybody out there that says, well, it's just locker room talk, man. It ain't locker room talk anymore. This ain't 2016. It was locker room talk back then. Now, he has been found liable of sexual abuse, and he defamed the victim, and he's going to have to stand across from a prosecutor if he has the balls to debate her. That's where we're at now. So let him go ahead and spew his little bits, his little one-liners, that I guarantee you he probably goes home and says, Mom, they made me say it, Mom. I mean, it's a good payday, Mom. Well, I hope you enjoy the payday, Jesse, but what you did was you helped dumb down an entire generation, and it's going to take years for reasonable people like us to undo the damage that you did.